On today's educational section, we are at justice.gov. We are in the Archives, U.S. Department of Justice. What is Criminal Resource Manual? Today we're looking at CRM 1 through 499, 109. RICO charges. What is a RICO charge? It is unlawful for anyone employed by or associated with any enterprise engaging in or the activities of which affect interstate or foreign commerce to conduct or participate directly or indirectly in the conduct of such enterprise affairs through the pattern of racketeering activity or collection of unlawful debt. 8 USCA 1962C West 1984. We will read that. The Racketeering, Influence, and Corrupt Organization Act, the RICO, was passed by Congress with the declaration of purpose seeking to eradicate organized crime in the United States. Rosello versus United States, 464 U.S. 16, 26 to 27, 104 St. S.C.T. 296, 302, 303. Violation of Section 1962 requires 1. Conduct, 2. of an enterprise, 3. through a pattern, 4. of racketeering activity. A more expansive view holds that in order to be found guilty of violating the RICO statute, the government must prove that beyond a reasonable doubt, 1. that an enterprise existed, 2. that the enterprise affected interstate commerce, 3. that the defendant was associated with or employed by the enterprise, 4. that the defendant engaged in a pattern of racketeering activity, and 5. that the defendant conducted or participated in the conduct of the enterprise through the pattern of racketeering activity through the commission of at least 2 acts of racketeering activity, as set forth in the indictment. United States v. Phillips, 664. An enterprise is defined as including any individual, partnership, corporation, association, or legal entity, and any union or group of individuals associated with the fact that, although not a legal entity, 18 USCA 1961-4 West 1984. Many courts have noted that Congress mandated all liberal construction of the RICO statute in order to effectuate its remedial purposes by holding that term enterprise has an expansive statutory definition. United States versus Delano, 825 F supplement. Pattern of racketeering activity requires at least 2 acts of racketeering activity committed within 10 years of each other. 18 USC 1961, 5 West 1884. Congress intended a fairly flexible concept of a pattern in mind. HJ Incorporated versus Northwestern Bell Telephone Company. The government must show that racketeering predicates are related and that they amount to or pose a threat to continued criminal activity. Racketeering predicates are related to if they have the same or similar purposes, results, participants, victims, or methods of commission, or otherwise are interrelated by distinguishing characteristics and are not isolated events. Furthermore, the degree on which these factors establish a pattern and may depend on the degree of proximity or any similarities in goals or methodology, or the number of repetitions. United States versus Indelicato. Continuity refers to either to a disclosed period of repeated conduct or the past conduct that is by nature projects into the future with a threat of repetition. HJ Incorporated. Party alleging a RICO violation may demonstrate continuity over a closed period by proving a series of related predicates extending over a substantial period of time. A predicate has acts have extending over a few weeks or months and threatening no further future criminal conduct nor satisfy the requirement as Congress was concerned with RICO in long-term criminal conduct. As to the continuity requirement, the government may show that the racketeering acts found to have been committed pose a threat by continued racketeering activity by proving 1. that the acts are part of a long-term association that exists for criminal purposes, or 2. that they are regular way of conducting the defendant's ongoing legitimate business, or 3, that they are a regular way of conducting and participating in ongoing legitimate enterprises. When a RICO action is brought before continuity can be established, then liability depends on whether the threat of continuity is demonstrated. However, Judge Scalia, pardon my French, wrote this is in concurring opinion that it would be absurd to say that at least a few months of racketeering activity is generally for free. As far as RICO is concerned, therefore, if the predicate act involved in a distinct threat of long-term racketeering activity, either implicit or explicit, a RICO pattern is established. The RICO statutory expressly states that it is unlawful for any person to conspire to violate any of the subsections of 18 U.S.C.A. 1962. The government needs not to prove the defendant agreed with every other conspirator, knew all of the other conspirators, or had the full knowledge of all details of the conspiracy. Delano 825 as well. All that must be shown is 1, that defendant agreed to commit the substantive racketeering offense through agreeing to participate in 2 racketeering acts, and 2, that he knew that the general status of the conspiracy, and 3, that he knew the conspiracy extended beyond his individual role. United States versus Rastelli. Go forth, mind, body, and spirit. Law Dog loves you.